I started online because I wanted flexibility. I was a working mother. I was going back to school for my doctorate, and I was very involved in college-wide committees. And I had to find time somewhere that I could shift, not avoid work, but find ways to shift work to areas of my day that I had free time. And I think that's what we also see in our students, that our students who are working, our students who are parents, they need that flexibility as well. So being able to go online at 10 o'clock at night and respond to discussion posts, being able to grade assignments at all hours of the day and night because they were posted online, that flexibility mattered to me, and I think it matters to our students as well. One of the biggest challenges was finding ways to translate what I do in the classroom to the online environment. I like to think that I'm very entertaining in my classroom, and I wanted to find a way to translate that to the online environment. And sometimes you're relying a lot on the written word in the online environment. And sometimes when you're trying to communicate something in writing, it doesn't translate the same way that it might face to face. Students aren't getting your body gestures. They don't see what the reaction of the other students has been. So that's been a little bit challenging. I find I'm much more cautious about what I put in writing. Well, I rethought a lot of my assignments. So, for example, in my face-to-face class, I might take students out on a field trip. I had in the past taken students, for example, to the New York Stock Exchange. In my online class, I found a virtual tour, and I was able to use that to help the students have the same experience. Collaboration is tricky. It's tricky in the face-to-face environment, and it's tricky online. I think most of the difficulty with collaboration is the diversity in our students. We have students who could really be anywhere. They're very well prepared academically, and they've chosen to come to the community college for convenience, for cost, etc. And then at the other end of the spectrum, we have students who need a tremendous amount of help to really be college ready. And you're dealing with that in the classroom. So I'm constantly toying with how I could do collaborations. This past semester, I had my students work on a PowerPoint slide presentation that they had to develop based on material in textbook. Essentially, they had to take one component of one chapter and expand upon it. And in fact, that worked better, I think, in the online environment than face-to-face, because in the online environment, they were used to communicating online. They were used to sending emails. So it didn't occur to them that they had to meet face-to-face in order to get it done. In the face-to-face class, even when I say that you can meet virtually, they still struggle with, well, we don't all have the same schedule and we can't all be here at 2 o'clock. Two different ways, I would say. In terms of my class, I think teaching online has caused me to be a more organized teacher. I really think through the entire semester. I think through every assignment. I post every assignment, every activity at the start of the semester, and I rarely change it because I feel that students are counting on flexibility as well as the organization. It would be unfair to them to sort of change things up. So that's made me more thoughtful about what I do in my classroom, both face-to-face as well as online. Personally, I've had to learn some new technologies, which has, I think, been a good thing, though I still wouldn't say I'm by any means the expert. But my whole line of research is on online education. My colleagues and I have won several grants to support our study of online education. So I think it's opened up a whole avenue for me that might not have developed otherwise. I think when I started teaching online, people were just beginning to talk about MOOCs, these massive open online courses, and there was a fear that once something went up online, we could easily be replaced. They'll have 1,000 students take this introduction to business class, and they won't need 12K Conways, they'll need one. That's not going to happen. We've seen that MOOCs aren't successful, certainly not for the kind of students we're teaching. MOOCs are more successful for students who already have college degrees or going back for other skills, etc. For our students, they still need that intimate level of contact. I have 25 students in an online class, and it is all I can do to keep up. The volume of emails, the volume of interaction is so much greater than it is with my traditional face-to-face students. So I don't see how they could replace me. So I think it's worked out. My fears has been allayed.